Cruises. For what it's worth, cruise ships have always been incubators for creeping crud. I've been on 20 plus cruises over the years and caught colds on a third of them. YMMV, of course. Why do you keep going on them? To buy timeshares. Going into the office to work. My remote desktop connection lags behind while typing, crashes constantly, and disconnects multiple times a day. I'm still getting more done than in the office, partly because I've managed to convince everyone that my microphone is broken so no one tries to speak to me. Going into the office to work. More on this. Plenty of companies have remote employees, but very few of them have built a remote culture to ensure their success. Often the failure of remote employees is really a failure of the company to develop a remote culture that keeps remote employees plugged in, informed, and productive. What we're seeing right now is a nationwide effort by companies to solve their remote culture problem now that it's a matter of survival. I like your remote culture phrase and will be using it with my boss to lobby for WFH privileges when the dust settles with this. Thanks. Millions of people are going to realize that they don't need to spend a good portion of their life commuting to get the same work done, and their bosses will have ensured things are in place now to allow them to do that. Millions of companies are going to realize that they don't need to spend a good portion of their life commuting real estate budget to get the same work done, and their bosses board will have ensured things are in place now to allow them to do that. Massively cut office space. It'll be interesting to see what happens to office real estate off the back of this. This whole thread would be so surreal to anyone 4 months ago. For most people, it's washing your hands. Buffet restaurants. I could imagine the food being behind glass panels and an employee putting it on your plate becoming much more common. Might bump up costs a little though, so the cheap buffet restaurants may struggle. The real answer is anti-vaxxers. You have an overly optimistic view of irrational people, I think. Handshakes. Staycations. Oh god, how boring are those? I'd rather go visit some interesting mid-sized town 4 hours away for the weekend. My husband and I are both shift workers and don't get a lot of time off together. Once a year we take a 2-3 week staycation that includes our wedding anniversary and just hang out at home together with the cats, watching movies and eating junk food. It's pretty much my favorite part of the year. Coronavirus. I'm not joking, lol. It'll survive 2020 but not killing as many people makes it less popular. Toilet paper. Bidets see their chance in the US market. Coughing. Coughing is going to be frowned upon for a very long time. Not sure coughing was ever popular. Can confirm. Calendars for this year. The 2020 calendar will be very popular in 2048 though. Air travel. The more companies see how much they can do with virtual meetings and such, the more they can decide that this can be a huge money saver when things get better. I get this, and I think it'll be true in some cases. However, I think in the majority of cases this will just highlight the limitations of remote meetings for many people. Honestly, teleconferences kinda suck. Most meetings barely need to happen anyway. Virgin Airlines. Seriously, a boss who owns private islands asking his entire staff to take 8 weeks unpaid leave. Richard Branson stripped himself of all his cool boss cred in an instant. Branson's been an absolute shitterhawk since he branched out beyond a record label. Essential workers. This is the real answer. Sad but true. Everyone forgets by the moment this is over. No real actions will be taken. People applaud at 9 in the evening to pay their respects or put a candle for 24H as their profile picture to ease their conscience, thinking they have done something. But nothing happens. Even now. Carol Baskin. Hopefully places like Myrtle Beach Safari and Jeff Lowe's new Oklahoma Zoo will suffer drastically. Celebrities. This crisis has shown the world just how insignificant most of them are. I can't get over that ducking Imagine music video. Thing is, at least with Gal Gadot anyway, I can see that for a lot of people their involvement might actually have been carried out with the best of intentions. They actually thought they would help by doing this. That if the poor masses could only see them, the wonderful celebrities, standing in their gigantic gardens and mansions and singing a song about hope, with zero relation to the current pandemic at all, that they would be inspired out of difficulty. Like, no, you earn millions of dollars and you're bitching about having to get locked inside your huge house with your private pool. Ducking donate some money to hospitals and food banks. JFC. It's even a bigger FU to the average person when you actually look at the lyrics of the song. Like, even if there wasn't a pandemic going on, some of the most privileged and wealthy people on the planet are singing a song about imagining if we didn't have the very systems that these people have used to become wealthy. Imagine no possessions. The song is literally about imagining if the people at the top weren't greedy ducks. Yet this exact demographic are the ones who are singing it. The scariest thing about this mess is that these people don't even realize how ironic the entire situation is. It's almost as though wealth and success in our society doesn't mean that you are better/smarter than everyone else. Ryan Reynolds was nice. He and Blake donated $1 million to food banks and then another $400,000 to hospitals since the crisis started. I wouldn't be surprised if they continued to give more throughout the crisis. Businesses, large and small, that took actions the internet population deemed wrong during COVID, I won't get into. No need. There was a family-run high-end grocery store that got booked for price gouging Lysol wipes during peak panic. They charged $29.99 each, limit 1 per family. Their poster with a description of the benefits of Lysol wipes was posted on Twitter and the internet backlash began. Our premier, equivalent to a US governor, I think, stepped in and said they would be going after businesses who are price gouging. The business apologized and claimed it was a pricing error. Edit. For anyone interested, Pusateri is charging $29.99 for Lysol wipes. GameStop may never reopen their doors after this, but to be fair, I think their days are numbered no matter what. The belief that our government has our vested interests at heart. Actually, as a Canadian, I am super proud of my country and how we handled COVID-19. I would love for Western countries to keep the habit of wearing masks when sick. Or just staying the duck home. It always irritated me when co-workers came to work sick. Thank a lack of paid sick leave for that, to be honest. Making fun of preppers. My best friend's dad is a Cold War era survivalist. He has a bunker somewhere up in Canada, like that type of survivalist. He gave us these 2 giant vats of rice and beans one time. I swear they are like 100 pounds each and they're sealed pretty good. The guy is a lunatic, but at least we have rice and beans. It's always the loony ones that get all the attention. Stocking up was common practice by everyone when I was a kid. Everyone had big pantries of food and other supplies. It came out of practice as I got older and newer homes not including walk-in pantries. I don't think anyone's really made fun of the sensible preppers who keep a couple extra months worth of food. It's the nutcases with a SWAT arsenal, a custom fallout shelter and years worth of supplies. Sharing beverages. The prank YouTube channels. We can only hope. Corona prank gone wrong. Gone sexual. To be fair though, there's a couple of good-natured prank videos on that site that were absolutely hilarious. Like the drive-through skeleton pranks by Magic of Rahat. Uber Eats. Normally it's so expensive, but with them waiving delivery fees and nobody wanting to go in public, people will overeat there and ruin their appetite forever. On a similar note, I think Zoom is going to be the MySpace BlackBerry of video conferencing. I suspect another company will sweep in after all this, maybe finding a way to make it a bit more professional, maybe just make it feel different. Pretty sure WebEx is MySpace, Zoom is Facebook, real double entendre there. Microsoft Teams will continue to run the show on the enterprise side. Bat soup. Healthcare tied to employment. Movie theaters. Drive-ins might have a renaissance, though. Maybe a little. But I think it's more that films may start releasing on streaming platforms for a rental cost rather than exclusively being in theaters. And losing that exclusive period will probably mean the death of most theaters. Man, I can't wait to hit the big screen and sit in one of the puffy, reclining chairs again. I'm worried about movie theaters. They've been struggling for a while, and with them losing so much revenue and companies doing early home releases now, I'm worried they will be a thing of the past in a few years. which makes me sad because I love going to the movies. It's the only extroverted thing I like doing. Like, why even date if we can't go see a movie? They lost me a few years ago. It just got too expensive. I hate that. I used to like to go a lot. Now I choose maybe 1 or 2 movies a year, if that, to go see. Dat ass after you've been sitting on the couch for 2 months. The 8,000 channels of non-stop sports commentary. Celebrity worship. I think you underestimate the utter emptiness of many people's lives. GameStop. I doubt it'll survive. Maybe the stores might get bought out by someone else with the name kept, but the current GameStop as we know it is done. Mega packaged toilet paper bundles purchased in bulk. Nah, if anything those will be way more popular, along with bulk sale stores like Costco and Sam's Club in general. Coronavirus memes. Elbow bump. Living beyond one's means. I'd like to believe this is true, but people just keep going and going. Look at the 2008 financial crisis. I think the problem is bailouts quite rightly save people from disaster, but as a consequence people just don't realize how close things got to going very bad for them. It's nearly impossible not to. The cost of housing continues to rise. The cost of durable goods continues to rise. The cost of food continues to rise. But income has not kept pace with inflation. Licking doorknobs on other planets is illegal. Respect for employers. Probably social media in general. Before it was already getting pretty bad, but you at least had an escape from it. Now, you're forced to use it non-stop. When people have something shoved down their throats, they get tired of it really fast. Physical contact though, that's going to have a huge surge after this. You take something away from people and tell them not to do it, they're going to want to do it even more. Though I suspect people are going to have to learn to actually socialize in person again after this too. Treating retail employees, especially grocery store and restaurant workers, like garbage. Obviously there will still be those a-holes who keep doing that, but hopefully the majority of people will learn a lesson and treat these employees much better. Gym memberships. A lot of people have bought their own equipment to set up home gyms now that their gyms are closed, and maybe even following some remote programming. Many will realize they live the convenience of working out at home and it will save them money in the long run.